show you the setup I've got. So this is my plasma cutter. It's not fully industrial, but it's a pretty big one. So I've got that all set up, got the earth tab on there, and this is a new setup I've got, which gives me quite a long nose. So I had to change the internal bits from the welding company I go to, and now you can actually put this right down onto the workpiece. What happened before was it had a ring on it, and the ring wasn't very stable, and it gives you the distance. This distance inside between the nozzle and the end was what you were trying to recreate with this kind of ring. I don't know if anybody else has got that style. It's almost like a spring, and it's quite thick and it gets in the way. So with this one you can get right into the corner and actually do your cutting. So this piece I don't need, so I'm going to give it a try now and see how it works out. And yeah, because what I basically need to do is I need to keep the basic structure, but I need to take these big 4x4 centimeter bars off. The problem is we welded them too well, if there's such a thing. I've tried cutting them there and on the side, but unfortunately I've forgotten they're actually welded underneath on both sides as well. So that's going to take quite a bit to get them off. I can get the stainless off, it's just screws on the ends. That might be another option to do it that way, but trying to cut them with this is going to take all day. Plasma will cut through it like butter. So I'll get it set up and I'll show you how it goes. So I've cut through it. You can see how nice that plasma cut is across there. It's a bit rubbishy underneath, but I couldn't get to it because of the bar. But I'm going to cut that off anyway. That's going to be cut in line. But just to get this piece off and make it a bit more manageable. It's a bit heavy to work with. Even two people lifting it's heavy. So what we're going to do now is just kind of cut through that last little bit and get this up out of the way. So I'll try that. Be back with you in a sec. Okay, so that's that bit cut off. You can see there where I had a good run on it. The edge is really good, and obviously it's shitty where I couldn't get underneath the beam. But the cut's really nice if you do it right. Okay, so that's the piece that I need. Now I need to cut that down to from that end there into 120, which is going to be the width of the bed. So what I'm thinking is I'll cut through the 3x3 centimeter box sections first, and then turn it over and plasma cut it across the top, so I can get a nice straight line. I'll just use a straight edge and go and zip it off. And then what I'll have to do is from that 120 centimeters across from there to there, once it's cut off, I'll cut in then 3 centimeters of just the box section, so that when I lay the new piece in here, it will fit in and still sit along the edge. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. So I need to line it up now and make it manageable, because there's a lot of cutting to get this off. What I'll do is once I've got that cut, then I'll take the metal off, because there's only the screws down the side here. I'll take the stainless steel off. Maybe that might be a better way of doing it. I'll take the stainless steel off, and then I can cut these angles easier because I can get to them top and bottom, because that leg's got to come off. This leg will already be cut off because the 120 is around here somewhere, so just cut it straight through, and then as I said, take the metal off and we'll go from there. It's really still, even with that piece off, it's massively heavy. I think I can actually make the tail board and the back board out of that. There's enough metal in it to do it, and I think that'll work. So all I'll have to do is make the sides, but the sides are going to be special anyway, because they're going to be bead rolled I should say. So I'm going to put a bead right around the arch and around the whole thing, so it looks real nice. So it looks like it's been custom made. So we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I'll cut the box section across. It's got a slight bend in it now, so I'm just going to roughly cut with a plasma cutter where I want to cut, and then I'll cut it to actual size, because I've got to cut this 3 centimeter box section back on that side to fit in the new end. So it's got to go back in 3 centimeters all the way across. I can cut that after I've taken the metal off, but it's just really heavy to handle on my own. So I'll get this done first, and then I can clean it up afterwards. So I'll change this wood, because obviously the wood wasn't long enough. I'll change that position to the other side and I'll show you actually cutting it. So this can be quite difficult with one hand, but I'll try my best. Yeah, it's not very good. I need both hands, I'm afraid. So I'll cut the rest up and I'll show you once it's cut off. It's just a two-handed job. Okay, so that's how the back's going to look. That'll be the actual flatbed, and then the hinge bits will go on the side. So I'm going to knock it off for the night. What I'll do tomorrow, I'll come down and drill all these rivets out, and then I can take this piece off, the stainless steel off. That's not how the bed will be finished. That will be the undercarriage of it, and then there'll be wood, really nice wood planking with probably aluminium strips in the back of it to make it look nice, which will be detachable, so when we're doing work in the garden with it, we can take it out, keep it clean, not damage it, and then just use the stainless for picking up all the other shit. But that's the basic frame of it anyway. Yeah, so it's a holiday tomorrow, some kind of religious holiday. I don't know exactly what it's for. I'm not in the slightest bit into religion, any organised religion, as I've stated on many an occasion. But anyway, some kind of yeah, it's a holiday. So unfortunately the scrapyard won't be open tomorrow, or where I get my steel from, but I've got enough to play with anyway just now. It'll probably be Thursday I'll go down and get something. Yeah, and that's where we are so far. So I'm going to call it a night and get these rivets out in the morning, and then I'll take this sheet up and just have a quick look how it looks visually. So I've pulled this, so that's basically what it would look like. Okay, very basic. There's no side on this yet, so I just shoved it on just to show you where it would go. So that would be the base of it. That's roughly, it's not exactly, but that's roughly where the rear arch would go. It's got to be moved up and down a little bit. But obviously on this chassis would be another box section, which is 4x4 or 3x3, doesn't really matter. So that then this would sit on top of that, so it'd be even higher. So it'd be up here somewhere, but that kind of height. But what we do have to do is I have to leave enough room to make the back of the cab there, and as you can see, that's not really very much. So I might have to move a few of the struts, because what we want to do is put a new piece of metal here, then bring it round and bend it. And obviously we'll have to do that on the corners, so I'll have to cut some of this away. So what I will do is make the 4 corners, because I'll have to English wheel them, and then we'll weld them into the straight bits that we bend. It'll be easier than doing it in one big piece, because it's awkward with a one piece. But that's roughly how it'll look, which I think won't look so bad. It's a bit hard to do it. So this is what I'm kind of working off. Oh, typical, isn't it? You want to film something, it falls down. So yeah, this is basically what I'm working from. So this is I think this is a 33 Citroen, and you can see that the front grille on them is more or less vertical, whereas with the 35, not with the 35 pickup, because they didn't make, this was a Rossolet, and they add that angle on it. The other thing is here you'll see that the arches don't have the extra piece on them here. So I'll show you I'll show you that piece now, which is damaged anyway. So you can see that what we'll do is we'll take that piece out. It's buggered anyway. Unfortunately there's a flange on there. All I have to do is undo the spot welds, and I'll keep it obviously for if anybody might ever want a section or something that's already pre-made. It's not that bad a condition, but I'll take them out because I like the open wheel better. What these back ones are off, that were given to me by Steve at D3S Shooter in Belgium, I don't know, but they are quite similar. They got like it quite nice. You can see there where they were actually made. So yeah, I think that's going to look all right. and then with the folding sides on it, that should come down just in line. It's only an approximation, but it should come, by the time this is higher up by 4 centimeters, it should just pop down. It should hinge down nicely over the top of those arches. And obviously these arches will be attached to the steel that goes on the side to cover the chassis. Obviously I'm not leaving it open like that. There's going to be a steel sheeting coming down towards the running board, and it'll all be done with a bead roller. So it will be bead roller all the way up here, up to here, that it'll catch then where the side comes down, and bead rolled all the way over, and so on. So it looks really neat. I don't particularly like this back. The arches are too big, too wide. Maybe he did it for tyres, I don't know. But I don't like the way it goes, it recesses in. What I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to make it fit the actual body, if you see what I mean. And I can even roll, I mean it's fairly straight that, but even if I have to roll it slightly, I'll do that. So that's the plan, and that's basically what we're working off. So I think they did make a pickup. I think this is a 33 pickup, so that's what we're going for. But I think the general idea is there, yeah, and I think that'll work. We just need to work out the mechanics of it, basically. So yeah, this door is really piss poor. We can't even shut it properly, because as you can see here, it's nipping the hinge is nipping the edge there, look. Yeah, that's too far forward, so we have to sort that out first. Let's see how bad it is there, it's overlapping. So we'll sort this one out, and yeah, I'll go from there. So there we are. And just to finish up for tonight, that's just the other seat. So I've set up the TIG now. So the TIG welder's in place, the gas is on, got a strap. I need to make something a bit stronger than that bit of cable shit, but we'll do for now. So I've got a new regulator for that, the one for the MIG, everything's in place. Yeah, hopefully everything works hunky-dory. So I'll start doing some TIG welding with that, because we need it really for doing the TIG welding on here. Some of the stuff is very thin, and the TIG will be much better for it. So that's where we're at. So I brought these black, I made these some time ago, a couple of years ago, and it was to stop overspray and sparks and everything going over the cars. And as you can see, the E-type's behind, but that will be cleaned before it's put away. Then it has a cotton cover to go on it, which is a Union Jack, and then another outside cover which goes on top of that. So there should be nothing on it by that time, and this should be enough to keep any crap away from the cars. So I'll just see how Victor's getting on. How are you getting on? You nearly there?
I'm done actually.
Ah. So, oh, Victor, he's got it out. So yeah, so there's a lot more access in there, isn't there, to that, especially to that battery at the back.
Yeah, I'm just putting your bolts back so you won't lose them.
Thank you.
Yeah, put the nuts on there.
Yeah. So it's good night from Victor and good night from me. So as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and we'll catch you in the next one, the next update on the Citroen. Bye for now.